So now that I have my dragon's eye drawn out here, I need to make this look more like a dragon's eye by adding texture. And the texture that we're going to add to this for a dragon is a scaly texture. So I'm going to show you on the back of my paper, and I recommend that you also practice on the back a few different ways to add scaly texture to this dragon eye. So in the back of my paper, I'm going to practice the first texture of the scales you can add is sort of just curved lines like this. Those are one type of scale that you could add to your dragon. Another type is maybe more pointy. And yet another way is maybe more of an organic shape scale like this. You are going to be repeating this shape, so you are adding repetition to create this texture. What I also recommend is that you stagger your scales. So this row here, the next row I'm going to add is staggered in between. And the same for the pointy, and the same for the organic shape. So once you add a row, the next row is going to be staggered in between of those scales. So on my dragon eye, what I'm going to do is start from the outsides and work in. It will make it easier for you. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to do more of the curved texture like this. And then my next set of scales. Now they don't all need to be perfectly sized and the same size. As long as you're repeating the same sort of shape, you will be able to create that repetition. So once you get going, it's just a lot of repeating the same line types. So when we separated our paper with these lines, this sort of serves as a guide for us as we're creating these scales here. So you're going to continue your scaly texture until you have filled your page with that texture. Now you can alternate the type of scales that you make, because remember, dragons are a fantasy creature, so you have the opportunity to be creative with this. But you want to make sure that you're repeating similar lines to create that repetition and that texture that you can see. This is an example of a texture you can see, because while it looks like I could touch this and it would be bumpy, if I actually do touch it, it is not bumpy. It just looks that way.